Another cool, overcast morning. It's gorgeous. It's a perfect time to do a garden tour. Let's go do a garden tour. This is a field of turmeric with a little bit of ginger that's not doing well. Oh my goodness. That Malabar spinach, it will come up anywhere. Hi, this is Robbie from Southern California. Look at all this. I cannot believe we're in the middle of September. Now, a lot is going on, but a lot of other stuff here has been going on. And I'll kind of talk about life in general and why I've been slow. And I know a lot of us kind of kick back this time of the year. I'm starting to think about what brassicas I want to grow. I'm propagating different things. Look how bad the ginger is growing. But you know what? There'll still be ginger under there. That's green down there. So what's been going on? Well, let's talk a little bit about life. My mother was in the hospital for almost a week. She's home now. And let me tell you something. They do colonoscopies on people that are, she won't let me tell you her age. So you're going to have to figure it out. She tells people she's 70. Okay, that's a good one. So let's talk about this for a minute. Oh, let's talk about the chair garden. And then we'll come back to that. I'm really happy with it, but I've got an invasion right now of hornworms. You go, wait a minute, you don't have hornworms? Well, we have very few orioles now. They're not feeding babies, and the only ones that have been hanging around on the deck are a bunch of babies, which are probably now migrating through, so they don't know where everything is. They're coming into a new garden, they're looking around, they're coming to the hummingbird feeders, and then they're moving on. I have not seen an adult oriole in a week, so I think they are heading south. They're going to go down for the winter. They're going to stay warm, and I won't see them back here until probably March. It's them that come in and remove all my hornworms. Every single one. We hadn't found any of them until the adult orioles left. They were coming in here, and then if you remember, I've got footage Gary took and I took of them going into those tomato plants, which I left for them. I never cared about covering them or protecting them. So they're the ones that are my insect eaters. They are the only thing we use in the garden. There's a couple other little tricks I've got, which I'm going to make sure I will pass that on to you on taking care of insects, but we don't use any type of pesticide. So that I'm going to have to say we are 100% organic. As far as I know, I can't tell you what comes out of the air, but we grow organic. I don't use anything, even if it says it's an organic pesticide. If it will take out an insect that I don't want, it will take out an insect I want. And then it could be harmful to birds and other animals around. So we don't use anything. But like I said, there's a few little tricks, and that will be separate in another video. So this is my favorite garden. I am still harvesting. Look at this beautiful purple tree collards in here. And I'm starting to propagate a lot of that because this is what's going to grow all winter. And this is what's going to give me the greatest food. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. And don't worry about this. This is birds. The goldfinches come in, the house finches, and they take a little nibble here and there. And if they're eating it, it proves to me that it's good for us to eat. This, I don't know if it will make it. It might make it through the winter. I might trim it all the way back. Some of the tomatoes come back, some don't. But if you look, this is hornworm damage. I think Gary picked off 5 or 6 the other day, and I actually came out here, and between this one, nothing on that one for some reason. This one, yes, because all you need is a couple and they'll cross. If they touch, they can go back and forth. I think I picked off about 10. I don't see any right now, but that doesn't mean anything. I just miss my orioles because they are the perfect thing in the garden. So that's what's been going on here. I'm still harvesting. Back here, I've got some zucchinis or yellow squash growing. Here's another flower. Is that a male or female flower? It's a male flower. So that won't be a fruit anyway, so I'm not going to worry about pollinating anything. My red vein sorrel needs a good trimming. That's back there, that squash. It's too cold. Look at this. Wait a minute. Middle September, we have very damp, cold mornings. When I say cold, it's about 60, 65, and then it warms up. But the plants don't want it cold, not squash. Certain plants want it warm, like ginger. So it's been a struggle. But look at back here. They're so clustered together, the green sorrel and the red vein sorrel, that they're keeping each other warm, where that one's all by itself and it's getting the breeze, so it's not growing as good as that one, because that growing together kind of takes care of each other. And then I've got a tomato plant back there too, and we are getting lots of tomatoes. And here I'm getting celery, and celery to me is important because I use the green leaves in my green drain. And we're going to kind of walk through a lot of the rest of the gardens here. So where was I? So my mother had a blockage, was put in the hospital. She said she's no better. She is. I can tell how powerful her voice sounds. So she needed that. So she had a colonoscopy. So if any of you think, well, they stop at 70 or 80, they can go into the next decade as well. Then we took a ride, and we also went to see my dad, who is a World War II Navy vet. And his birthday, I can't say his age because my mother asked me not to. World War II Navy vet. My father, I'm the oldest. Let's see. Let's just say he hasn't quite reached the 100 yet. And he, to me, is doing really good. My brother takes care of him because they live nearby. And then my sister helps out because they live close too. So we went and spent time with him. This is the ponds. We're going to change this up. This has been an ordeal to take care of because of the raccoons. I'm going to clean this up, probably with Gary or my own. Going to clean this one up. And the bathtub, we've decided in this area where the coyotes and everything come through and everything jumps into the bathtub, we're going to redesign that, and that's going to be kind of a boggy growing area. So we're going to clean it up. I don't know when, but this is our plans right now. And these need more water too. See how they're struggling? Because the trees are pulling the water from the cannas and the different plants he planted in here. The aloe vera is doing okay. Those are baby cannas. I picked those and put them all over. We're going to turn this into more plants. So this will be all plants. We only need the 2 ponds. So once we have 2 ponds to take care of, it will make it easier, I think. Kind of eliminate that down and have beautiful plants there. It's just going to be better. I think it will be better. So that's what we're going to do here. And then the skunks and everybody come in to get water in the bowl. But it needs a good cleaning. I just have to be careful because now both of these ponds are full of dragonfly eggs and nymphs that have to live in there and not come up until next, well, I guess summer. So we have to pile it up on the side, let the nymphs go in. We'll probably end up losing eggs. That's what we're a little nervous. So we're kind of waiting till all the eggs hatch because they'll live in there all year until the right time to climb out. So we'll do that slowly, but it will be all piled up. So any nymphs that have hatched, that's the dragonfly larva, they'll go back into the water. We'll do it the best we can. Gary's got a lot of ponds, so we're not going to lose a lot. And then this, I don't have, oh, there is one in here. Because something probably, squirrels got my other ones, and I'm freezing. There's another fruit back here too. I'm freezing that for my drinks that I make. I've been freezing a lot. I have frozen so much this year that I'm so excited. I'm going to have so much food in the freezer. And now my niece, she is going to come down and get some of the passion fruit. When she found out the other day, when we went to see my dad, she saw Gary grows passion fruit. She said, I can't find it. She's been running to all the Asian stores because she wanted fresh passion fruit. He's got the purple passion. So she's going to come over and start getting a lot of that because we have hundreds and hundreds of passion fruit. Look at this. Beautiful tomatillos. Are there anything in there? There is, but they're teeny right now. I don't know if my squash will make it, but I do know, hold on. No, not on this one. Some of them still have squash. I'm not going to pull out the zucchini because I have seen in the winter sometimes it makes a burst and comes back and I end up with a couple. So we're going to leave that. But this is great. This is purple. See the purple stem? So these will have a purple tinge. Oh, this one's full. But they'll come off when they're ready. You'll give a little tug. So this is going to be great. All that will be frozen. I still found the bag in the freezer. I still have from last year. Isn't that funny? So the tomatillos will be ready pretty soon. This is celery. I want to cut it back and leave that. And here's one. I'll get that off today. Oh, this is beautiful. Come on, leaf. Look at that. I'll trim that off, and that may grow another couple even through the winter. I don't know if there's anything here. Hold on. Oh, no. Can you see that? It goes all the way to the bottom. It's attached there. Okay, I got a big one to take off there, and it's still flowering, and there's a bee in there. And that is a male flower. We'll let him do his thing and leave him alone. These I've kind of left. I pick them when I've got them. It's probably got hornworms on them too. I'm not too worried right now. I have so many bags in the freezer. I know there's a hornworm. This is all hornworm. See, when you see leaves like that gone, what they're doing is they're eating the soft leaf. You probably see it, and you're probably going, I see it, I see it. I don't see it. Now, that's not to say that the orioles won't come by over here, even the ravens. I've seen hawks come down and get hornworms. They might be perching on the edge and looking for hornworms, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. But whatever. So I come through here. If there's some tomatoes, like I'll come through here, I'll pick them. Gary harvests for breakfast all the time. He just comes and picks through. So that's what's going on here. This I never planted. That was the issue. I had planned on doing watermelon here, and then all these tomatoes came up, so I left them. So it'll be really cool during the winter when I kind of take a lot of this down to decide which way I'm going to go. And then here is just milkweed. That's for the butterflies. And then this is an old moringa. It should not be in a tote. It really should be in the ground. And then here, oh, here I still have onions. You know, if I, oh, no. See, this is what's happening. See this? This onion didn't get picked. See the onion? So when you don't pick your onions, see there's more there, they're going to regrow. I don't want it to regrow. I will actually use that onion. If it regrows, I'm not going to gain the onion. I'm going to lose the onion, but I'll gain seeds. So it's not that important to me. I'll end up getting the onion out. This has got garlic in here, and I'll probably have the same problem. I actually picked a garlic, but there is garlic. Oh, see the garlic? Oh, it's making a comeback. You know, I might leave the garlic. Hold on. I planted garlic. This is a good time to plant. This is garlic. There's garlic there. There's garlic here. I'm hoping you're going to see that. I might leave the garlic. Then the cloves will get bigger because I planted individual cloves in there. And it was kind of late in the season. It went dormant for the summer because, believe it or not, it doesn't like the real hot weather. And now it's making a comeback. And this, now there is onions in here I haven't picked. And I want to see they're trying to grow. But look at that. This is my pride and joy for my green drinks. Because I use these dark green leaves. I brought a lot for my brother when I went to see him with my dad. Because he makes them, he calls it smoothies. I just make a green drink. Because I just make it and drink it because it gives you energy. And I brought him a bunch of celery leaves and he goes, you use the leaves? Yes. The leaves are fabulous. People throw it away and you've got so many vitamins and nutrients in there. So I grow a lot of stuff to add to my green drink. I mean, you want to be careful with too much, let's say Swiss chard or even red vein sorrel. You wouldn't want to make a salad and start eating salads of this every day without this being part of the salad. The whole salad, too many oxalates in there, and it can draw calcium out of your body. So if anybody tells you grow red vein sorrel or grow Swiss chard and make a salad, no. That's too much. It's an additive, like adding in tomatoes, you add in a couple leaves, but that's it. Don't do it solid because it could cause some people issues if you eat too much. Some and too much. That's nothing is good if you eat too much. You want to mix things up. So that's added into my green drink or whatever I want to do with it. But the point is, don't overeat one thing. So in a green drink, I might pick 2 or 3 of these leaves. They're not too big. And I don't see any red vein sorrel here. I'll show you that in a minute. With the red vein sorrel, I was putting 3 or 4 leaves in a drink. And John Kohler recently said, hey, cut it back. So I don't know if 3 or 4 is too many, though my red vein sorrel is really big. So I'm going to cut it back to 1 or 2. It hasn't hurt me, so I haven't had any calcium issues. Look at this. Tomato plant. Isn't that something came up? I left it. Look at the mint, Malabar spinach. Oh, I add a lot of that to my green drink. I think that is turmeric. Cool. Garlic chives. I got all kinds of stuff. Now, this is my butterfly garden, which I think is fabulous. I never got to that, so that's just growing wild, and I love it with the walking onions and everything. But this I planted, and I love it. Being cloudy right now and cool, there's no butterflies right now. Got the Mexican sage. I've got orange mint in there, chocolate mint in there, eggplant Gary goes in there and picks, milkweed growing in between. So you can have a garden for your butterflies and birds or for yourself, and then throw in food in between. More Malabar spinach on the bottom. You got tomatoes peeking through. I mean, garlic chives. You could do that. Look at this purple tree colored. Any brassica will do in the garden. So you have stuff that you could go to a beautiful garden and pick food for yourself, as well as stuff you're not going to eat, but it's for the wildlife or just for eye candy for yourself. How about an avocado tree that should be grafted? That's growing in the tote. Isn't this cool? Look at more brassicas in here. I can forage in here and pick a brassica leaf. What type is it? I don't know. It's probably a hybrid. It won't matter. With mint. Make mint tea. Go in there and grab some mint. Is this not beautiful? I mean, what else can you say? Here, I don't know. There's one watermelon. This one didn't do good compared to my other one. We've been eating watermelon. There's one. Let me see. Kind of an odd-shaped watermelon. And let me tell you something. Oh, look, it's still flowering. If you are growing watermelon and you only get a couple that look like that, and you go, oh no, do not compost them. Make sure when you think they're ripe, when the tendril is brown, I usually leave it for 1 to 2 weeks after it's brown on the plant. If it's not on the plant, it won't matter. They're still good. So you got a little mini watermelon that is so sweet inside, so don't toss them. The tomato plant came up, doing good. I've got some native milkweed back here. That's native milkweed. And that is the tropical, so we got both milkweeds in here. Purslane, another thing that is very good to add into green drinks. Very important. More celery that I'll probably transplant that later. There is something I wanted to show you over here. Here it is. Here's red vein sorrel. And this is what you don't want to overuse. It is a fabulous food because it's red when you break that off. I mean, it will stain your hands, see? And that is good, but you don't want to overdo it. So I was adding in about 4 leaves, and he said, could be too many. I don't know if it's really too many. I'll cut back to 2 because there's an awful lot in there. But this, don't make a full salad out of it. I mean a big bowl. If you've been doing it, then there's not a problem. But if you take it, these leaves, and chop it up and steam it or cook it, then it won't matter how much you eat, because that will knock out the oxalates, and then you can, at that point, eat what you want. That is perfect. You know what? Let's walk through here real quick, because there's not much going on. Some of you asked me about my papaya. Yep. This is what's happening with them. They're going, oh no, the roots are already coming through. I will be growing a whole bunch. And I did a video the other day on the seeds. And I've got more seeds in the house. Those are papaya here. Look at this. That's how I was growing them out here. What are we going to do with it? We're going to plant them. If you go back, you'll remember I had a whole bunch of papaya plants along the back here where the bottle brush is. That wasn't there. It was just papayas. We grew a ton of it. We're going to plant them all over, and whatever makes it, makes it. We'll probably give some of it away, but they're really easy to grow once you know how to grow them. And then the thing is keeping them alive, but you can grow them in pots too. So we will be planting them, and then Gary's going to plant them in his garden as well. This is the rainbow garden. So here we've got, I think this is this lady Maria gave me this. And this is Indian mint. So we've got, I believe this is from Maria. That was a gift. Then I've got, these are skins growing back here. Skins of turmeric. I put these here because they're having an issue. And I think it's the having cold nights and warm, hot days. So I don't know what's going to be with them, but I made these stands and I put them up against the house because it stays warm at night. But I just moved him here within the past 2 weeks. So I don't know if it's going to make a difference. And this, I think, is holy basil. That's Gary's. This is my basil, which is being chewed up right now by the goldfinches. They have been busting this thing to pieces, looking for every seed that they could get, because that is their food source right now. We grow a lot for nature. We have enough space, and we can provide them as well as we provide ourselves. This is milkweed down here, oregano on the ground. This is a pepper plant I stuck in here. So we'll see how this goes. I can move this anywhere because it's just a stand. And then I've got oregano in there. I've got oregano in here. Purslane came up. See, basil's nice down here, but I'm not taking the seeds off because I am leaving them for the wildlife. This is an old cutting from rosemary. You've probably seen that for the past few years already. And I can't even get through here. Hold on. And that's thyme in the bucket here. So it was my pizza garden, but it has turned into an herb garden that I'm slowly spreading out more and more. And I think that's really cool. Then here, oh, it took. This is purslane. I'm sorry. This is pepino. And I broke a branch off from the mother plant and I put it here and it took. I want to take that yellow leaf off. It doesn't need that yellow leaf. See, more red vein sorrel. I do like red vein sorrel. Remember, no problem if you cook it. And this is in a pot. Big holes. It can send its roots in here. This should do fabulous because I've been picking. I don't think there's any on here right now. No, I've been picking pepinos off of there. I tell Gary if you see it when he makes breakfast, whatever he wants, or I put him into rice dishes, just pick. Never really got to this. It turned into another butterfly area because this is all milkweed. And I still have the pepinos growing here. This is the mother plant. This is, look how old it is. See how wonky the trunk is? Look at that. It looks like it would be a tree. So with that, I've been taking cuttings off of that. And that's a piece there that grew last year. And then that's the one that grew also last year. And now I took a new cutting down there. So I'm taking it off the mother plant. This is just a geranium I had picked up a few years ago, a little piece. And I take lots of cuttings off of that. And then here, I've got peppers I planted here. And here's the peppers. Look at that. This one I planted in a pot. I layer. If you're in a hot area, layer. So I've got peppers. Those are the old plants. And this is the new one. More peppers there. I've got eggplant. It's flowering right now. Purslane growing. This is Hummingbird's lunch with, I think there's a pepper plant back there. Oh, yeah. With peppers. Oh, yeah. There's a pepper plant. There's the tomato. Milkweed everywhere. When I see it, I dig it up now and I'm putting them in pots. We're trying to get rid of the fig tree. We don't want the fig tree. Eventually, I'll get this out. I've got other ideas for here. Potato mint. Make sure that's covered. Yes. The tulle was so hard to see. I wasn't sure if it was there or not. The rabbits will eat the potato mint. I want the tubers because they taste like potatoes and you can eat as many as you want, raw or cooked. Malabar spinach. Oh, I just grab it. If I see it in a little pot, I drop the pot there, and wherever it's coming up, I put it here and it's growing up. Gary's going to get to that later. That's his project, the dog kennel. Walking onions, making soil in the empty pots, potatoes. I haven't done much here. I'm just growing zinnias everywhere. Why do I grow so many? Because once you grow 1 or 2 flowers, you're going to get them forever. Because you grab the seed heads, which are here. And if you're me, you're walking around, throwing them places and forgetting about it. And all of a sudden, you got zinnias coming up in the strangest places. So I've got these here. And I do leave the seed heads. You're supposed to deadhead them. Sometimes I deadhead them and stick them somewhere. But this is your seed to continue growing. All this is potato mint here. Look at this. Got potato mint there and there. I'm going to give one to John Kohler. His died back, and I want to get him some potato mint when he has time. He has the channel Growing Your Greens. He's like one of the first gardeners. Well, Gary was watching long before me that we ever watched, and he's still going strong. And recently he said he doesn't have any potato mint, so I want to get him some. And I'll just give him a whole container because I really don't use that much. But this one is gorgeous. Isn't that nice? But it's in here. It's fighting with the purslane, but because I'm using that in my green drink, I'm leaving it. This is just a marigold that came up and I left it. Another zinnia. Gee, I wonder how a zinnia seed got in here. And then this one, let's see what's going on here. This is the potato mint. Loves the heat. You want to grow something fun that loves the heat? potato mint, but it does need water. And then here, I've got a lot of flowers. I moved a tomato that was in a pot here. Don't have to do anything but drop the pot here because the zucchini was done. Gee, more zinnias, Malabar spinach. You know, I even put sow thistle in my green drink. I grab the leaves. I leave all this for the birds because this is an important food source for the birds. So the goldfinches hang around here all day eating it. So do bush tits. They come in for the little insects that go on here. Hummingbirds build their nests out of it, though they're not nesting right now this time of the year. So this is like a major food source, sow thistle. But don't forget, you can eat the leaves too. And again, they can go in a salad or in a green drink. Look at this. It's going to flower all through here. I got a seed head. I should take the seed head off and it will flower quicker. And then more, look at this. They're fading out. And then I do have zucchini in here. You can see the zucchini. One of them's got fruit. There's small ones in there. Oh, there's the big one. I don't know if you can see it. I didn't get it. I've had so much zucchini this year. See the big fruit? I'm going to get it. I'll get it later. I'll cut it off when I'm ready. It stays fresher on the plant, but you don't want to leave it too long. I have frozen a lot. I'm good for the winter. Then back here, I was making soil and a mustard seed got in. So it's growing in no soil. It's actually pure compost, just leaves. That's probably zinnias. There is no soil in there. What is in there is just leaves. And the mustard seed found its way in there and it's growing. And then I've got a watermelon left here. We've been eating watermelon. And I've got another one here. And there might be a couple small ones here and there. We'll take a step in there in a minute. Tomatoes and stuff. And then I've got this dog kennel, which I need to really clean up. Like I said, it's been kind of a very unusual past 2 weeks, and a lot of us know that. There's a lot going on all over. I mean, a lot going on in our life and a lot going on all over the world. So this is a nice refuge to come in and get away from things. I've got turmeric in here, lettuce, thyme. This has been in here now. It's going to go into over a year. Thyme growing. This is all baby lettuce that I did crumble and put the seeds in there. I can move them. So it needs a good cleaning. But look at the lettuce there. And then I'm propagating more tree colored in there. And then I put this in here because a worm got to it. So I figured I'll move this in here temporarily. I cleaned it up. It will come back. And that's a purple or Russian red curly kale. And let's see. This is the backside. We just walked through here. And these are all potatoes, and so many of them need to be harvested. I know that this is loaded with potatoes. I know that there's potatoes. Look at this. The little ones, I'm going to lose them if I don't get them out. I need to get this. I should make a point to do this today or tomorrow. Just dump the bucket. I'm going to do potatoes only in buckets. Though you could do totes if you can lift it. Too heavy. 5-gallon bucket is good enough for me. I could use these. These are 4.5 gallons. I've grown plenty of potatoes in these dish pans, which are wonderful. I get them at Walmart. Must have like 30 or 40 of them. And then they had the red ones. These were 18 quarts. The red ones were 12. You can grow in those. And the ones from Dollar Tree, I believe, are 8 quarts. A little small, but you might be able to grow something in there. But the red ones were good too. I like Sterlite, made in the USA, and you can tell. I have never had, no matter how old they are, I haven't had one break yet. I'm not saying they're going to last forever, but my goodness, some of them must be 6 years old and going strong. Tomatillos. Anyways, all I do is the bucket is tip it in a wheelbarrow, get my potatoes out I want, go ahead and put the soil back in, add in some more leaves and freshen it up, throw in a couple of the potatoes I don't want, cover it up and put it back. And I have to do that. And then this is the dog kennel. I'm going to do a separate video on the dog kennel. This is one of the best gardens I have ever grown. To be able to come out here and have pure peace and know there is no hornworms, no nothing in here, has been fantastic. Even though I only used the 1/4-inch wire and I didn't cover it with tulle, and I could I have had no problems in here. And I've been really happy. There's the purple, kale, lettuce. It grew in there. I was trying to make soil and lettuce grew in there. So I moved it in here because the rabbit got to it. I've gotten squash, tons of cucumbers. I've got popolo back there. So much stuff. Like I said, I'll do a separate one. Oh no, I've got a cucumber that's trying to grow It did. I didn't even see it back there. Okay. It was growing through the wire. I have frozen cucumbers. Now, let me get out of here. Why would I freeze cucumbers? Because I make a cucumber drink. And it's so refreshing, and I want to have it so I can use it for the winter. So we'll do a separate thing on the dog kennel. If you're having a critter problem, be it mice, rats, squirrels, dogs, cats, coyotes, raccoons, bears, this is your answer. And it doesn't cost that much, because once you set it up, you have it for life. And this has been great, to the point where Gary set that one up, and he's still thinking about putting some in his garden. Okay, let's go to the front yard and then go into the bird garden, and I think we can wrap this up. But like I said, it's been kind of a very trying 2 weeks, but it's been good and, good and sad, but everything turned out. See, that's a goldfinch that was just eating the, he's up there? Hold on. You see him? He wants me to leave because he wants to come back down to the, let's see, I had sage in there too, but he's eating the basil seeds. Okay, he's going to leave. It's been a tough 2 weeks. Like I said, my mom in the hospital for a week, my mother's home now, and then visiting my dad. It's been a busy week, but I'm still working in the garden, because I'm telling you to come out here and move some dirt around or trim some plants is really so stress relieving, and is so nice to do, and anybody can do it at any age. I just found out that my niece, who's becoming a veterinarian and going to school, she showed me her garden. I'm a little bit worried about it because it's not her fault. I'll flash this picture she gave me, and I told her I wanted to use it as a demonstration, but we're going to have to talk about it, because what's growing there is not good, and what's growing there is not her fault. That is the fault of the manufacturer who is selling that potting soil. And I told her what to do, and let's hope that she can grow. But no matter what, if those plants don't make it, is 100% not her fault. It was the people that sold that potting mix. All right, let's go to the front yard. I really need to turn this into a butterfly garden. It'll give me more time, but I haven't really done anything in here. Gary pulled out all the hen and chicks, and he told me if I don't do something with it, he's going to compost them. I've moved a couple around, but very few. We left a few in here, and I think that looks really nice and neat in there. I've got my palm tree that makes him nervous. Oh, he double potted it. How funny. He sat it in another pot because he doesn't want it to grow. I wonder why he doesn't want it to grow. I mean, after all, it's spending time with mom. Yeah, to trim those things can cost you up to $1,000. Okay, well, for now it can sit here. It's at a good length. I can trim it. And then I look at all the tomatoes in a dish pan. I want you to see this. All I did was stick a tomato plant in here. There's one plant in these dish pans. You really, if you don't have room, should get the dish pans. Keep your weeds down. You see your weeds, just pull them out. And look at this. This thing is packed. And Gary tells me he keeps picking. He missed that one. He'll probably get that this morning. Pursling's coming up. I don't know if I really want it to fight with the tomato plant. But look at that. I have grown zucchini in there, lettuce, onions, radishes, everything. Anything you can grow in a tote, you can grow in a dish pan. Fantastic, easy to change, easy to tip, easy to take care of. I can't say anything bad about this. I love these dish pans. And then there's the onions, walking onions, purslane. This is weeds. Shouldn't even been here, but it's in there. I don't even know what this is. And then look at this, brassicas. You come out here. Now, in the next couple months, these leaves will get really big because we're still warm. But see, it's fighting with all this, and that should come out. That should not be left in there because it is taking away. That's an old beet. I had beets in here before. So that should all be pulled, and then you don't have to get rid of it because it will turn in the soil. But you want to pull it out, try to get as many roots as possible, and then just leave it. Or put it in, see, there's another beet. I don't want to pull the beets out. Look at that. I'm going to use that for my next green drain. Cool. I didn't even know that was under the grass. So these black dish pans are fabulous to make a garden in. You have a small area, a patio. Look, all you need is a table. Keep it off the ground. You've got no critters. You can put it on the ground. Make sure you have drain holes, and bam, you are on your way to have a fabulous garden. More turmeric. Like I said, I haven't done much in here. let's zip down and take a look at my terrible ginger, though I'm going to try to grow some new ginger, and then we'll take a walk into the bird garden. Now, we have been getting a little warmer, so look, the ginger is starting to grow and turn a deeper green. But it has been so cool at night all summer. Cool nights, hot summer days. It really did a toll on a lot of my ginger. So we'll see what happens when I go to harvest them in January, and I'll see what's in there, repot them, and try to maybe find a different area to put them in so they'll get a little more sun. I'm starting to think that these trees are getting bigger and bigger, and they may not be getting the sun that they normally get. So they might have lost, maybe even 30 minutes can make a difference. I'll have to analyze more, but I'm not going to worry about it now because we're going to get to the end of the season. See, this is all new. See how it's changing already? All the new growth is starting to come up. I don't know if there's new growth in this one, but here's new growth coming in through here. It might do really good. If we have a really warm fall, autumn, then it will continue. It's going to continue to grow no matter what until December or January. It might just do fine. As far as the turmeric, look at this. The further back you go, if you analyze it, the greener they are. The wall must be holding heat. And the front part, a little more yellow. They're a little bit more in the cooler area. So that means microclimate, finding a new place to put them next year. After I harvest them, store them, and go to plant them, kind of thinking a little bit more out of the box on where I want to move them. We'll see what happens then. All right, let's go in the bird garden. Real quick, that is Gary's garden. I don't know how much you can see, but way down on the corner is dragon fruit. The entire top is purple passion, and then he's got gack fruit. Now he's working on the gack fruit because the plants he's got, as it looks right now, are only females. He did buy a whole bunch more plants and hoping that by next year, if he gets some male flowers, he will have a lot of gack fruit. Then in the back there is all dragon fruit, and there are some papayas sticking up on the top there. And he wants to get more papayas growing all over. Usually the plants here in Southern California last 5 to 7 years when it comes to papayas. So there are a lot of ours that's fizzled out. We had the whole front of the house at one point covered with papaya plants, and they did fizzle out too. But that is Gary's garden, and that is a hike to get down. So I let him do his thing. He grows very different than me when you think about it. I grow where I grow the average stuff that everybody knows, really. You know, we're growing different squashes, mainly zucchini and tomatoes and stuff, where he grows the exotic stuff that's more of a perennial as well as less maintenance. They kind of take care of themselves, and that's the way he likes it, along with his banana plants and everything else he grows. Now, let's go into the bird garden, which is straight through there. And if you notice, my gardens, and I have so many of them, are all level ground. All I have to do is make a circle to do my garden. Where he has to hike down a hill. I'm telling you, it's a hike. It's like going on a good hike with a trail. There's 2 ways to get down there, and I rarely go down there because I have to make the circle here and take care. This has turned out beautiful. He picked this thing up out of the trash years ago, and look how beautiful it is. Now, I do have to get this strung up a little better. This plant, these beautiful leaves, I brought some to my brother because he's making my parents' green drinks. He said, they're gorgeous. I said, well, they're a little small right now, but as winter comes in, which won't be for a few months, the leaves get really big. But this is broccoli. This is a brassica, but it's broccoli. And broccoli, once you take the head off and let it do its thing, this is what you end up with. Beautiful leaves to eat, steam, drink, whatever you want with. And I think it's doing great. I just took another broccoli that was on my deck and I brought it here, and I hope it looks as good as this. But if I don't get this strung up today, and it's just simply putting, see that I've got the back there? I just have to anchor it a little better. It's going to break. So I don't want this to break because it got so top heavy. How blue-green these leaves are. Look at that. And the little nibbles you see, there's some nibbles around. Those are the birds. The goldfinches come in and eat a lot of the greens as well. Slowly expanding this, so this is going to be all for the birds as well. Look, we got dragon fruit. We brought some to my parents' house as well, and they were excited about passion fruit and dragon fruit, so they're going to get more of that. He's been hand pollinating at night. There's a flower back there. One night he did over 100, a couple nights he's done over 100. Oh, that's a beautiful big one right there. Look at that. It'll be a little while till we get that. And then we'll have to watch them because there'll be so many. Like here's one tucked in back here that I gotta be careful I don't stick myself. Oh, there's dragon fruit there. The birds will come in here and eat them, but not right now. But anyways, I'm gonna extend this and it will be very portable. So if I had to move it, like this is just an old bird cage with a shipping crate on top somebody gave me. The birds are safe in there. They can get out through the open door. They can get out through the wire. It's just nice places to feed them. I can put a cover on top so when it rains, I can just have a tote lid here and then they can still come in here and feed out of the rain. So this will be very portable. And then this is these clothing racks you get at Walmart. You can hang, you can use them in the house. This one was painted green by me and you can paint them and then they're just great for house plants in the house. Outside here, sometimes I put water features. I'm hanging bird feeders off of them. They're cheap. They're like 10 bucks. If they labeled them for plants, they would sell them for 3 times the amount of money. But they're just clothes racks that you would keep in a laundry room, and they're metal, and you would hang your clothes on that when you take it out, you know, of the, let's say, laundry, or you need to maybe have some extra space in a closet or outside. Please, I'll put the link so you can take a look at it because I've bought like 10 of those. This tote was for composting. It got loaded with bird seed and other stuff, so I'll move that later. But I'm taking some of the cuttings and holding on to them, the dragon fruit, because I'm going to spread them around the yard. And then I've got all the different plants here. Here's the blanket flower. Been propagating the dickens out of it. Look how beautiful and easy they propagate. Once you know how to propagate these, you can get all the plants you want off of one plant. That needs to be transplanted. Like I've got one in there, I transplanted. But there's 3 of them here. Yeah, hold on, we're all twisted up. I think there's a little one in there. This is emu bush, it's the yellow one. And then here, these totes are about 9 years old, going strong. And I've got geraniums and all kinds of stuff in here. I've got the pineapple sage, which is more for flower. You don't eat that, but you've got everything. You can grow walking onions in there, garlic chives in there. I've got mint growing in there. Look how beautiful this is. Same thing, you wouldn't want to make a big salad with the green Swiss chard like this or the red because it has a lot of oxalates. So you could cook it, that gets rid of it, or just put a little bit. So if you make a big salad, you put 1 or 2 leaves of this in there. So you mix it up. Not a full salad of just Swiss chard. Unless it doesn't bother you. What it does is it pulls a lot of the calcium out of your body. Peppers through here. Something people really don't talk about. Mint, walking onions. Look how big these walking onions got. They look like real onions, but they are walking onions. Isn't that beautiful? And then again, red vein sorrel. I love my red vein sorrel. I'm still going to keep putting it in the green drink, but I'll just put a couple leaves instead. 2 leaves a day isn't going to hurt me. And then I've got some geraniums here and then some mint down there. This I moved out. This was tucked way back there. And I thought I'm going to pull this out, trim this down, and put something else in there. Again, 2 pots together to make a stand. Oh, and there is more than one. This is, I think there's one here. See, this is a plant I propagated off of this. See how big it is? It's got a hummingbird's lunch in there and the blanket flower. So like I said, once you know how to propagate blanket flower, you'll have all the ones you want. Even this is propagated. This is a salvia that I propagated in here off of one of those plants. Again, here is where we're feeding birds, and we've got fountains. I'm setting up more fountains as we go. This hasn't been set up yet. This was on my deck, but it's being moved here. That's a new one. If you want, I can show you how easy it is. A dishpan with rocks, and I made that cement block years ago, and it's been sitting. The birds have been using it. Let's walk around the rail here. I've got a camera set up to keep an eye out. I use Wise cams all over. I love my Wise cams. And here is a Wise cam set up. And what is it set up on? Look at this. So I've got a Wise cam set up on this. Is that a tripod? Gary found the lamp in the trash. He brought it home. He said, I don't know what we're going to do with the stand. I said, I know what I'm going to do with it. So I added on this piece here that it's so hard to explain, but somebody threw this away, and this is a part that went on some selfie stick or something. So that's there. And the Wise cam is attached to it. And now I'm using it as a stand that I can move around the yard. Solar, so it's not going to go on yet because it's so dark. Look at that. Oh, we had the pintail in here this morning. That was cute. He has to be careful with his long tail, the pintail whita, because he can't get into a lot of the cage setups. I do that for safety, so the small birds can get inside the feeders and feed, but he can't get into them. So we have set up separate feeders for him, but he found out he can get into here and let his tail hang out so he can still feed on the food and not go hungry. And we make sure everybody can eat. Isn't that beautiful? That's a brassica, full-size tree. From the back there's the trunk going up, and there's the top, and I brought some of those leaves to my brother too. Beautiful leaves. All these leaves later, as the weather cools day and night, when we're not in the 80s or 90s, they will get much bigger. So right now in the summer, the leaves stay on the small side, but still perfect to eat. There's my bat-faced Kufia. The problem is the bees really can't get in there. They don't know how, and they try. Look, how can I get in there? I'll tell you who does know how to get in there, the carpenter bees. They make a hole, and then they suck out the nectar. All down there, different flowers. Flowers I'm propagating. More zinnias. Why? You know why. I already told you. Tossing flowers or seeds everywhere. Here's a kind of a purplish magenta one. This got too big. I pushed it back. It is my Hummingbird's lunch, but I really don't want to cut it. I want to cut it when I can take cuttings, because these are all cuttings. That's cuttings that I made. This is a new plant I made. There's another new plant I made. I make a lot of my own plants. All I have to do is buy one, and then I go from there. If you look through here, very few plants were purchased, and the bulk of them are cuttings and propagated plants to make free plants. This was a free plant. The Mexican sage, Gary came home with one. We now have them all over. Again, making free plants, including the food. You can make all the food plants you want once you have one started. And this, with brassicas, easiest thing to do. So let's spin around. We're almost done. Walking onions. Again, you know how I love my red vein sorrel? Just cook it or use a couple sparsely here in salads raw, whatever way you want to use it. Oh, I just bought this when I went to the nursery. This is lemon verbena, and this is what the birds love, and they hang out in there, and there's a seed that they give off later, and your spice finches feed on it, and so do the goldfinches. So I want to plant a lot of those, so I did purchase a couple more of those. This, I finally got to it and set it up. Again, an old tote that's probably about 8-9 years old. It should be retired, but it's okay. It's loaded with wood chips and leaves and everything I cleaned up in the garden. And then this is a compost bucket. Now, I told Gary if he gets tired of lifting it to drop things in, I can put a lid on instead of a bucket. But for now, I put a bucket, so no rodents or anything can get in there. And then that will break down. It will feed the plants. But these plants are not planted in there. This one has an open bottom. So this is a broccoli. And once it takes off, it just got moved and the roots got trimmed a little bit. It might turn as big as the other one I showed you when we walked in. This one I'm going to move. This, I'm just propagating this right now. So any of the leaves that look like they're struggling will come off, because this is a new plant. I wrap this around so no critters will chew on the base. But that's just a cutting. And that's all that is. And that's not going to stay there. But that's just to propagate and remind me to keep watering it. So once it sets root, I'll get all new growth out of it. Nothing really. I got to clean this all up. A lot of that is just weeds down there, but I got tomato plants. I've got walking onions growing in a little tiny pot. Holy mackerel. That should be put into a big pot. Let it finish doing its thing, and then I'll do it. Tomatoes came up on their own. Look how tiny, but that's okay. I didn't plant it. Free food. Again, brassicas, they're in the ground. A lot of them back there are directly in the ground. See? And look at the size of the trunk. Massive. And then I've got, let's see, this is the lemon verbena. See the seeds? It gets a flower and seeds, and the birds can find the tiny seeds in there. You can barely see them. I've never had any come up on the ground, and I don't think the birds are eating all the seeds. The conditions must have to be right. But that's what the birds like, and they like the idea. It's kind of wispy. See how it's kind of really pretty? The little birds can get in there, and they feel very secure. So even if a hawk flies by, hawk can't fly through that, so they love it. And this was a tiny plant, like I showed you that. When I bought it, it was just a little plant. That one was half the size, and that hasn't been here that long. And this turned into a full-size tree. So did the other one. We've got 3 of them. Do I have 3? I have 4, because here's another one. See the leaves? This one's got a good root system on it. When it has bigger leaves, you know the roots are doing really good. That one is in a pot, a big, big pot, but it can send its roots out. So it's happy in a pot, so I get much bigger leaves. So this is what I'm saying. This one's in the ground, and to me, the leaves looks much smaller, but it's fine. Oh, look, something laid eggs there. That looks like it could be praying mantis right here. We'll leave that alone and let it do its thing. So this has just been great. So that one's in the ground, and that one's in a pot. That's got bigger leaves. Interesting. And this one's got smaller leaves, but that's all right. So I'm going to get this lined with more of the lemon verbena, because this is for the birds to hunt in and forage in, as well as just sit in there. And maybe I can get some put around the property, put some nests out. Maybe the spice finches will nest here. That's what Gary wants to try to do, and the fig trees are so big. The birds are getting a lot, but so am I, and I brought a lot to my parents as well. So we'll see, how many we end up getting, but there are a lot of figs on that. And again, I have enough to share with the wildlife. Then all through here is just brassicas and geraniums and garlic chives, and I've even got some 4 o'clocks through here. But these are all mixed brassicas, hybrids that came up. Look how big. This I do eventually want to get out, because look how hard it is to walk by. So I'm slowly propagating and moving plants around. Like I can do a good cutting off of this, or I could cut it here and let the little side shoots grow. But little by little, let me step over here. So I planted that one. That is in the ground. I rooted it, made a hole, and dropped that big one in the ground. But I have pots around it. So the pots I fill with water, and it will keep those roots wet. And if you can see, that plant is super happy having pots around it. I want to get all this with more tree colored, and I also want to grow more lemon verbena. See how big that tree is? You don't realize, I showed you the front, it's hanging all the way over. It's growing into the citrus tree here. It's a mandarin or a tangerine, but it's massive. So I want to get more of that, because this is really my bird garden, but it's got equal food for me and equal food for them. So it works out really good. And then I'm waiting to see, look at this tomato plant. Cut it all the way back. It is making a comeback, and I will be the one that's going to have to look for hornworms. But so far, no. Cut that one back, and we'll see if it makes it. This is 4 o'clock. Not 4 o'clocks. That's the Chinese forget-me-nots, and they're supposed to be done. And it's flowering again. And then this is just some pot marigold. There's nothing really in there, just those 2 flowers. But that's what grew, and I've got bags and bags of tomatoes frozen. So when I want to throw it in a stew, a soup, a salad, make salsa, I have bags of tomatoes. I should be really good for this coming fall and winter. All right, different types of mint with garlic chives in there. Just look at this. Just some of them are in pots, some of them are not. See the pot? It wandered out. It's growing all through here. I got all the chocolate mint tea and peppermint tea I want. Again, another purple kale. Kind of a Russian red purple brassica here. It's kale. Remember, the leaves can go back in. A little walking onion I stuck in there. Again, this is some of this died back. We can take that off. This is the hummingbird's lunch, the kufia that the hummingbirds love. I can still move that. It's in a pot. When you move a plant that's in a pot that has sent its roots down, sometimes it looks like it died. You'll pull it up and then it will droop. Just make sure every day you water it once or twice a day, and it will generally 99% of the time they pop back up and they'll gain their new feeder roots back. So don't worry about that. And that's why I love layering, because I can move it. At the same time, it's beneficial for the other plants around it. This one took off. This moringa didn't look like it was going to make it this year. And I started making compost tea, which I've been pouring on it. And I put a pot here now. Oh, see, something's been eating this. And this is when I'm propagating. And it's already taken root. But when you water that, it will stay wet underneath. Can't tell, but it is damp. And it helps the plant from, let me move that back, not drying out, because it'll be damp. So it could send its roots there and get some water. More mint. And that's it. We went through the whole yard. You've seen everything. This is where I'm propagating different plants. I've got lettuce in here in a shoebox. Look at this, a shoebox. I don't even think there's holes in this one. Nope, no holes, but they're doing good. Look at all the lettuce growing. Can't complain on that. I can move the lettuce, or as I've been doing, just come in here and harvest. I never got this pepper planted, doing good. Walking onions. This I'm just trying to save. It was doing bad, but I can see it's making a comeback. This was geranium. It got too wet. The soil wasn't doing good, so I yanked the whole plant out, redid the soil, and put it in here. Obviously, it's doing really good. More peppers that I never found the home for. Can't complain on that. It's doing good here. Look at this. These are the ones from Walmart. I bought the peppers. They're mini peppers or mini bells, and I planted them, and they're doing good. Free plants. There's that bunny lunch. It's kind of got a carrot smell to it. I just don't know where I'm going to put it yet, so I stuck it there. And then this is my papaya. I may try to propagate this. I have in the past, and they never took. But this is the last of my papaya in my garden. Again, from seeds. This one was actually from the grocery store. Gary bought a strawberry papaya. I planted the seeds. I didn't plant the seeds. That's not even true. You know what I did with the seeds? I threw them in this tote to compost them. This was an 18-gallon tote, but it's all stretched out and broke. And the seeds came up, and I left them. And there were 7, I believe, eventually, that some of them kind of fizzled out. But they grew in there, and then we busted the bottom out so the roots can go underneath, which it is, and left them. That's how easy it is to grow papayas. The seeds grew, and we ended up with papayas. And let me tell you something. Oh, I see a bird got one. I am freezing those. I am using those. I make ice cream out of them, or I add it in for flavor. I can make a shake, a malt with that. Anything I want. This one, though, is not doing well. If you see the leaves, they're curly. So it probably won't make it more than another year. I don't even know if I'll make it through the winter. This one's doing good. But in the meantime, you saw all the ones I'm growing now in the house and outside and everywhere. So I can get some more pots situated where I want them and maybe be a little organized better and get them in better places. But is that not cool? Free seeds. You're buying the fruit anyways. Why not grow it? So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I'm giving you ideas, because that's why I'm doing this. I want you to get ideas when you go to the grocery store. Gee, can I plant them? Well, look, I've talked about it. If the seeds, or the plant, I should say, have been irradiated, there's still a chance on some of them may grow. It depends how much they got treated, because they're treating a lot of our food now in the grocery stores. We're eating food that's been treated so it will stay clean and not have bacteria and won't break down. But the problem is, well, let's not get into that today. So the point is, it's worth a try. You have nothing to lose. A little bit of time and a little bit of soil. And you know what? If you don't want to go buy potting soil to plant some seeds in, go get a shovel, go outside and go dig some up from the ground. And use Mother Nature's soil. And a lot of times that works just as good. So I'm going to go in and get breakfast. This has been great. This is beautiful. And I am so glad that there's still some figs up there that I can see. Ooh, there's a big one. I'm going to go get that before the birds do. And I'm glad that I can share with nature, share tips and ideas with you, and be able to grow enough food for us to eat, so we don't have to buy a lot of produce from the store. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget, I need to get that. See the one that's eaten? Well, there's another one next to it. To eat what you grow. You know what I used to get the figs with? Gary wanted something to catch rattlesnakes with, to move them out of the way. And so I got him a tong thing and a hook. He didn't like the hook, but the hook has worked for me. He said, return it. And I found that it is perfect to trim bushes around here. And it was like $10. So now I use that hook to pull the branches down gently. I don't want to break them, to get the fruit I need or the leaves I need. Or even if I want to trim the plants, it's worked for that. And that is perfect. Okay, I've talked too much. I'm going to go have breakfast. Have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. And this is the breakfast we have every morning. You never know what he's going to put on there. It's whatever he forages in the garden. Hey, I'm not complaining. He's making breakfast, and it's great. Why not? Let him put whatever he can find. And it tastes so good. And it's even so cheap. I can't believe it. All that from the garden, a little bit of cheese and tortillas. It costs us pennies. Unreal.